Okay, I guess we're live right now. What is going on, everybody? This is your boy Juggernaut097, and I'm doing a little bit of different video for you guys today. I have a guest with me. He is he familiar? Yeah, he looks pretty familiar. Go ahead and introduce yourselves to the people that don't know who you are.
The people who don't know who I am the co-host, co-founder, as you can say, of the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always, an instant classic. Um, and it's been a while, I think, since we've come together and done a video. It's been quite a minute. Feels like I don't know when the last thing we did, but I think everybody was on board watching Impact at the time. So interesting that we find ourselves back in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can get back to doing more videos again because, I just love. I have the passion to doing podcasting again, and I can't wait for the NFL season to start again. We'll be doing those videos again. Hopefully, if we get everybody back together. Where's Casey been at? Where's Casey at though?
He's been around. I think he's still trying to figure out the show for the review that we're going to do later on tonight as well. So he's trying to figure, get all the craziness, of the show because it was a really good show. He's trying to get through everything so he can discuss it a little bit later too. I mean, I was really impressed by the show. I really was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but nonetheless, we are here doing our Slammiversary 2020 review for you guys. And I know that we're a couple days late, but this weekend I had a lot of things going on. Shit happens in life. But overall, what'd you think of the shows overall?
To not give away too many of my thoughts on anything else, they got me hooked again. They got me hooked again. I had started watching Impact again probably like 3 weeks ago, but I technically had watched like the past 5 or 6 episodes because my DVR was like stuffed with Impact on it. I just hadn't watched it, and that kind of had been my thing with a lot of wrestling, I guess. And I started watching it because I was like, what the heck is Moose doing? Because I saw Moose carrying around the TNA World title, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? Like, I got to see what this man is up to. And I literally started watching just to go watch his segments. And I watched a couple other segments along the way, a couple of the North and the Diener segments, a couple of course, his segments, wondering where Sami Callihan was, and other stuff like that. So overall, I thought the show was really good. Like I said, they got me hooked. Some of the returns that came, especially the one that we got at the end of the show, that definitely I was like, yep, I'm going to be watching these guys again on a weekly basis. And I guess that's what's been missing from Impact. I think that's what's been missing. I think, and it reminds me a lot at times of AEW as well, where like it feels like there's something missing, right? Every wrestling company has this little thing that's like missing for me. Like, I got to watch this show. And I think for Impact, it was star power a little bit because so many people left at the same time or like back to back to back to back to back that it was like it was almost hard to watch because you had to reevaluate and you had to relearn everybody again, and you had to put these guys who had never been in these superstar positions. I had to program my mind to be like, this guy's a superstar. So I think like they definitely got me hooked. Long story short, they got me hooked with some of the returns. Especially, one of the tag teams that returned tonight. Of course, the return at the end was really good as well. I don't know, just some of the I think some of the star power for Impact returned on Saturday, I should say, and I think it's got me really wanting to watch for week in and week out. And the funny part was I already had a reason to watch anyway, so now I'm just that much more invested.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying there. Like, see, I was tuning into, I wasn't tuning into Impact on a weekly basis, but I was watching their YouTube channel. I heard what was going on. And then, I saw the video packages for Slammiversary, and they were kind of trademarking this as, like, they were saying, who's going to be coming back? Like, that's what their main selling point of the show. Who is coming back? Tune in to figure out, which at first I didn't really like. that they were kind of building off of that. But over time, I go like, okay, man, this is pretty cool, because I want, I was starting to get excited, closer, closer to the show. Go like, okay, who's gonna be coming back here? Because like you said, I mean, the thing that they were lacking is star power, and which we'll talk about, who all made their returns during the show. But I mean, there's like a few things I have wrong with the show, but overall, I mean, I really enjoyed the show top to bottom.
Well, I know we talked about too. Before we went live, we talked about the production quality of it. Not in terms of like how the cameras looked or anything like that, but like some of the little things like the replay and like when they would go to certain video packages or hype packages or interviews or something, and it would go to something random and wait a little bit and like hiccup and then go to what it was supposed to, what it was supposed to. And I don't know what that is. I'm not sure. Like I don't know how they do their shows on Fight. I'm not sure if this was a live show. I would be surprised if it was. But I know sometimes pay-per-views are a little bit different than doing a weekly taping. So it almost makes me wonder, like, what was the I feel like they were doing it live, and I know more than anybody, if you ain't done live TV in a while and you go back to doing a live show, it can be a little bit of a whirlwind. So, and I think that might have been what it was. That might have been some of the issues that we saw with like the replay. Like one time they tried to go to a replay and it actually showed the live shot instead of the replay. Another time they went to replay, it showed the replay, but it showed the replay with audio, which never happens. They never had the audio in. So.
Mm-hmm. And or like earlier tonight when they had some like issues with the microphone because like someone was cutting the promo. I couldn't really.
In my opinion, I would have never even said I had technical difficulties because I don't, especially if you know you're gonna figure it out. My thoughts on it is, and sometimes it's easier to just get it out of the way and say, oh, we were having technical difficulties, but. I mean, I get that he had said he was going to have Don Callis with him on commentary, but he should have just said, Don Callis is coming in here, here in a second. He's going to probably enter in sometime during this match. Like he could have worked. I think Josh Matthews could have worked around it. I don't know, obviously, who's in his ear telling him what to say, but in my opinion, especially with the criticism that Impact gets on every little thing that they do. I don't think he should even say anything about it. I think he should have just acted like it was normal, and Don Callis is just going to join him at a later time.
Yeah, true. I definitely agree with that. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get started with this review. So, the first match that kicked off the show was an open challenge. We had the Rascals, and at first I thought, okay, so I thought that was going to be the Good Brothers to come in, to open, to challenge them. But they announced at midnight that they were going to come in. So like, maybe it might not be them because you want to build anticipation. Go like, what team is it going to be? Who's going to be coming in? So the team that came in, it was the Motor City Machine Guns, former tag team champions in this company. They're one of my favorite tag team competitors in this company. Like they really put TNA on the map. Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. And Alex Shelley, he was over in Ring of Honor for a while. I think he was like tagging up with Kushida or something in Ring of Honor, which I feel that like Alex Shelley, he's kind of a step slower in Ring of Honor, in my opinion. Like I don't know, I feel like he couldn't get much stuff figured out over there, but in TNA, I mean, he just clicks like really, really good. But DJ, what's your thoughts on this match here? Thoughts on the opener?
I was excited about the return of the Motor City Machine Guns. And this was one of those that unfortunately, like I think I saw pretty much every big spoiler that I could before I watched the show. Before I got a chance to even watch the show. Whether it be Instagram or Facebook or whatever, me trying to stay off of it, and I get on it for a second, and every place I looked, of course, would be a spoiler for me. But I was excited, and the Rascals, I mean, those dudes are ridiculous. For a little bit, they were a reason that I watched Impact too, because they're hilarious. They're so talented. I don't know. and I don't think they have won the tag team titles in Impact, but I don't know how. I have no idea how they haven't. If I'm right about that, I have no earthly idea how they haven't. I'll look it up once I get done. But I
Yeah,
mean, they're
I'm
just
gonna look
good.
that up right now.
What do you say?
I said I'm gonna look that up right now. See if they actually
Yeah,
have won the world
yeah.
title.
I'm surprised if they haven't. I'm very surprised, and I don't remember them winning it. So that's why I brought it up. But them against the Motor City Machine Guns is just the perfect. They're just the perfect. That's just the perfect way to start the show. That's the best way to start the show ever because the Motor City Machine Guns can still go, and then you got this young upstart team who, in a lot of ways, are very similar to the Motor City Machine Guns. Ironically enough, so I love it. I thought the match was really good, very good tandem offense. This is what we really enjoy. I think from tag team wrestling is what we saw in this match,
They actually have not been tag team champions.
which is
No.
surprising. It's as good as they are, but see, I think what's been stopping them, which I think if they're going to win it, they need to use the Freebird rule. If they're going to win it, since they are a 3-person group, but I think Impact doesn't want to do that, and they want to have one of them split off and do his own little thing, and then they want to have the other two team up. The hard part about it is who do you have to do that? Because Desmond Xavier could split off by himself and be X Division champion. But to me, Trey Miguel, I mean, that dude on the mic is ridiculous. Like when he really is like serious, like when he's straight, like when he's just not joking around and he's like straight up, like the dude is incredible on the mic. So I think splitting him off with Ace Austin might actually allow Desmond Xavier and Wentz to do something, to do something in the tag team because somebody's got to beat the North soon because the North have been champions for a while, albeit I think they've been good champions. They've been really good heel champions, but they've been champions for a while, so somebody's got to beat them eventually. I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought this was a really good match. Both teams were really gelled well together. I mean, Motor City Machine Guns, they did some great, tag team maneuvers. Both teams, like I said, they both gelled really well. I don't really have any problems with this match. Earlier in the match, the Rascals, they had a lot of the upper advantage on them, but I think that was due to the Motor City Machine Guns trying to see how the Rascals work because they never, this is the first time ever working together in the match. So I say during the last second half of the match, it was more the Motor City Machine Guns who had the advantage, and they did end up winning. The veterans that end up getting the victory here, which I like that. To try to put them back on the map. Try to show that build some veteran shit back up over here, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I don't have any problems with this opener here. And then the next match we had was an unsanctioned TNA World Title match. So was this for the title? Or was this not for the title? I was a little confused about that.
This was for the title.
Okay, this was for the title.
So what it says is it's the unsanctioned world title, which means it's not technically a title, but it's a title match because Moose said it was a title match, and Tom and Jimmy went to the committee. This was one I didn't understand, but I don't want to cut you off. But I didn't understand why they did this one at all. It was a good match. I just don't understand why they did it.
Yeah, so we had Moose Moose was defending his unsanctioned TNA World Heavyweight Championship, the old one back in 2013, 14, 15, whatever, back during those times, not the new one, if to not confuse you guys here. And he was facing Tommy Dreamer. I was a little confused a few weeks ago before, when I was starting to watch TNA again. I was going, why is Moose carrying around the old Impact World Championship? So I guess he must have found the title belt, backstage lane somewhere. And I guess he claims himself as what did he say? He claims himself as
the real world champion.
The real world champion, yeah. And he claims himself as a wrestling god.
That was funny. I wish they would have said something about JBL, but
Yeah.
they didn't. They said something about somebody else, but I thought that was funny.
And so I guess he's trying to be JBL now. I don't know. He also said that he's the best in the world, so I guess he's trying to be Kenny Omega or CM Punk or somebody. He's trying. I don't know. He said that he's the best in the world here. But I thought this was a really good match here. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I really liked this cool spot during the match where I think it was Moose. He was going for I think he was going for a moonsault off the top rope. And Tommy Dreamer hit a nice cutter onto a trash can. That was a really cool spot during the match. There was another cool spot during the match. It was like I think it was on the outside of the ring, and it was a really cool neck breaker onto Tommy Dreamer. So that was a pretty cool spot. We saw thumbtacks get brought out during this match. Tommy Dreamer brought them out. We saw some blood during this match. I thought this was a really good match. Tommy Dreamer brought out Candlestick. They whacking each other a little bit with it. But overall, really fun match. And there was another cool spot during the match when Moose, he did a standing moonsault onto a whole bunch of chairs. I mean, Moose, he is really, really athletic. I mean, they need to put the actual world title onto Moose because
how he hasn't won it, I don't know.
I don't understand that. Like, it just boggles my mind and go like, why is he not? Why hasn't he been the world champion there? And this whole storyline was going well, Tommy Dreamer was saying that you couldn't really win the big one, so you had to go pick up a world title, and you were basically a failure in the NFL. You couldn't win any championship there also. But overall, I thought this was a really, really fun match from start to finish. What's your thoughts, TJ?
Yeah, I agree. This match was really good. Like I said, I think what they meant by and I didn't understand the old school rules portion of it either. At first, but I guess what they meant by that was
as a hardcore match.
Yeah, hardcore, Full Metal Mayhem or whatever. Which is interesting because technically, I would think an old school rules match would be a regular wrestling match.
Yeah, that's what
that would be the oldest of school. But anyway, I thought this match was good. I just don't think this match should have happened. I love Tommy Dreamer. Love Tommy Dreamer. The promo he cut on Moose was amazing. But I still think Moose should have been in the Real World Championship match because he's carrying around the TNA Championship, claiming to be the Real World Champion. Because the funny part is he doesn't even have to actually defend it. Like, he could have just been in the match, lost, and then still been like, well, I didn't lose my title, and just kept it going. Because I got a feel, and I don't know what they're going to do. Because I got a feeling, at first I thought they were going to bring it back because they've been going a little bit more the direction of bringing back TNA as a thing, which they should have never gotten rid of in the first place. But they've been trying to insert it in here and there, little TNA here and there. But I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. But I feel like it's gonna pay off with him winning the title at some point. I think it's got to. Another one of those guys who I feel like is really loyal or seems to be really loyal to Impact, but never really rewarded for his loyalty. And Justin and I talked about this before we got on live. I think one of Impact's biggest issues is that they reward people that don't stay very long. Brian Cage. Tessa Blanchard got probably one of the biggest moments in Impact history. Technically, if you think about it, the first woman to not only compete for the world title, but win the world title, and she couldn't even show up. So she couldn't show up, cut a promo, do anything. And I love Tessa Blanchard. So that to me is just ridiculous. I don't understand that. I don't get it. And it was very frustrating. And then we talked about too Sami Callihan, who is almost like the beacon of loyalty. I feel like wherever he goes, he's gonna be loyal to it. And he got a title run, but they didn't let it last for too long. And I think he's probably the best in the company. Maybe not as much so with all of these returns now, but he's still up there. He's still probably top 5. As far as promos, he's probably top 3. The dude, and the dude gets heat everywhere he goes. He does stuff that nobody does. He spits on people, power drives people's wives. Like this man does everything. Like and he makes you believe it. Like which is lacking in wrestling nowadays. But Sami Callihan makes you believe it. So I hope that he gets another title run too. I don't think it's going to be soon, but I hope he gets one as well. But Moose deserves one too. You know, Moose definitely deserves one too, and I think he's probably going to get it probably before the year's out. Probably a Bound for Glory more than likely, because I keep forgetting that this year is only 7 months in or almost 8 months in now. It feels like I guess this year's been so crazy. It feels like this year's like almost over, which technically, in a way, it kind of is. But like it's we're only a little over halfway into it, and I feel like it's already at the end of it. It's just been, I guess, it's just been a crazy year.
Yeah, it hasn't been a crazy year, with all COVID stuff going around, without having any sports, with just everything has been really crazy this whole year, especially this summer. But back to what you're saying about Moose, how we should maybe the reason why he hasn't won a world title is maybe because there could be some backstage politics or something, like, hey, we don't want to see the world title on him, which I don't know. Maybe that could be a reason why.
See, and I don't understand. Another thing I never understood is why, and I think they had Cage take it off of Moose. No, take it off of Lashley. But was it Cage? Who took it off of Lashley? I can't remember. I think it was Cage.
I think it was Cage, yeah.
I think it was Cage. And then, of course, Cage won it again. Did he win it again? No. I think he took it off Lashley, and then Callahan took it off him, I think. But anyway, Cage took it off of Lashley, which I thought was, yeah, he did. He definitely did. To me, that was dumb because I think they should have let Moose take it off Lashley because everybody wanted to see Moose versus Lashley. Don't get me wrong. Cage versus Lashley was amazing, like ridiculous. It was a ridiculous match. Both of them, I think they fought twice. Both of them were really good matches. But I still think Moose should have took it off of Lashley to put him over. And then Cage still would have got it. So I don't know. I think they definitely dropped the ball. I think on that. I definitely think they dropped the ball on that. But I mean, this match was good though. I mean, I still feel like Moose should have been in the world title match. There's no like, because even if he lost, you can put him back in the world title match later. You made it a 5-way anyway. Why the heck would you add? I love Rick Swann. Why the heck would you add Rick Swann? And he's not gonna win. So you bring in Rick Swann. I'm like, well, okay, there's another guy who's not gonna win. Like, why? But we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, well, okay. And then the next match we had was a gauntlet match for Knockout's #1 contender spot. I'll let you talk about this match first.
What I liked about this match was that it was elimination, which I did not expect. I thought it was going to be like over the top rope until like the very, very end and be elimination maybe. I wasn't surprised by the winner of this match with Kylie Ray. That I wasn't surprised at all, but it was definitely good though. I liked it. I think everybody got a little bit of shine out of it. And it's weird because oddly enough in Impact's women's division, everybody in this match, most of the people at least, probably like 80% of them have their own little feuds. They all have their own little feuds already. So I had a feeling that it was going to be either Kimberly or Kylie Ray who was going to win this match. I didn't think Tyra was going to win because she just came off, I think, the longest Knockouts title run, I think. So she wasn't going to win. Bravo coming out multiple times in different attires was hilarious. And then the real thing with him, Rosemary, and Taya, that's always funny. That's always funny. I like Susie too, like her little character she's running with. Her character is funny, but I'm not surprised that Kylie won. Obviously, she's not going to win the title next because we got a new champion, so it's kind of. You ain't taking the championship off of her not that quickly. So
yeah, I do agree. But I thought this match was like really, really fun. Which
yeah, I forgot to say, Justin, Kiera Hogan is like that. That girl is like that. She need a title run too.
Yeah, she does. I'm surprised she hasn't had the title. I mean, I remember. Okay, so when I was starting to watch TNA again last year, I remember. I think it was around this time that Kiera Hogan, she was in that Monsters Ball. Was it Monsters Ball match last year? It was like a big 4-way or 5-way or
Well,
something.
she just got her character development like recently, like two
Yeah.
or 3 months ago when she teamed up with. Well, it was a little bit before she teamed up with Tasha Steelz, but now you can
Mm.
kind of see it a little bit more. So I think I that's why she hasn't gotten the title run yet because she she's been there for a while, but like they just got to the point of showing who she is, which I like her and Tasha Steelz. They feed off each other very well and they're very similar. And their characters are funny too. So I like both of them.
Yeah. But I mean, you called who was going to win. You said that Kimberly, not Kimberly, Kylie Ray was going to win this match. You called it, and I go like, you know what? I could actually see her winning. Which I'm kind of surprised they went with her, to be honest, because on commentary they're saying, oh yeah, Kylie Ray, she's too nice. She won't ever win the world title. It was funny when she was eliminating people. She was like, oh, I'm sorry. It was so funny. And I can't remember who it was during the match, but she go, no, it was Massive Rain. She was like, quit apologizing, or she said something in the match, which was really funny. Um, Also, I like the Johnny Bravo stuff when he first came out as Ty Valkyrie. That was pretty funny, and then I saw her come out. I saw him come out as Rosemary. That was just. I died laughing at that. I mean, Johnny Bravo, he's hilarious. Which I have a question for you, DJ. Who do you like better in kind of that group, Ty Valkyrie or Rosemary?
I think I'm always going to be a Rosemary fan.
Yeah, same. I just from back in what group was it? Was it the business group?
Decay,
Undead.
you come on Decay.
Yeah, Decay. Yeah, that's why I really started liking Rosemary. Like when she was on the mic and stuff. That's when I really started liking Rosemary. I mean, Ty Valkyrie is good also. She's a really good wrestler. I mean, most of these women I really liked, and a lot of these women, they were just having their first. This was their first time being on pay-per-view because I'm pretty sure Kimberly. This was her first pay-per-view. Who else was it? I think maybe Katie Forbes, bro. Katie Forbes, man, she has a big booty. She throw that thing.
I thought it was funny when they started twerking. That was hilarious.
Yeah, when Carrie Hogan.
Yeah, you don't see stuff like that in wrestling anymore. So that was just hilarious. I was like, that was funny.
I thought that was funny, and I felt we had a lot of people teaming up in here because I know that. So you said Tasha Steelz. Is that her name? Tasha Steelz, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Kiera Hogan, they were teaming up a lot during the match. Of course, Rosemary and Ty Valkyrie, they were teaming up. Havoc and what's her name? Nevaeh, yeah, they were teaming up during this match. So everybody kind of had their own alliances going on during this match. Except Alicia Edwards, she didn't really have much during this match. She was kind of like the lone horse in this match.
She's one that I cannot get behind. For some reason I can't do it. I don't know if she needs a character more like Eddie Edwards or what, but she just seems like she doesn't belong for some reason, and I don't know why. But I mean, I think she's okay from what I've seen, but I think I find it hard sometimes for wrestling companies to transition you from wrestler's wife to real deal wrestler, because sometimes especially if you don't know their wrestling history, they can come in as a wrestler's wife, and and then they get in the ring, and you're just like, oh well, this ain't gonna be good. So
true. Yeah, I just can't really get behind Alicia Edwards. I mean, I don't know. I just haven't really seen much for matches. I mean, I haven't really seen her really go in the ring. But I was happy that Kylie Ray did win this match. I mean, so the final two competitors were in this match. It was Ty Valkyrie and Kylie Ray, and they went at it pretty good. I mean, there were some pretty cool spots during this match I liked. And I'm just happy that Kylie Ray won. Of course, she's not going to win the world title. I mean, but we'll talk about that when we get to that match here in a little bit. Um, let's see. Next match we have here is the X Division Championship match. We had Willie Mack defending the title against Chris Bay. DJ, what's your thoughts on this match here?
I thought this was good, and I didn't expect anything less. I was a little surprised Chris Bay won because it felt like they were putting all his chips in the fact that Johnny Swinger, that Johnny Swinger was the reason he would win. So I was a little surprised that he won on this night, but I think he still ended up cheating. I think to win the match, but I just knew this match was going to be good. Chris Bay is ridiculous. Willie Mack. I mean, if you look at the man, you'd be like, "There's no way he can even move around the ring," and then he does some things that you're just like, "How?" But how did he? Huh? And Willie Mack's been the X Division champion for a while. I think after he beat Ace Austin, so he's been the champion for a good little bit. Has Willie Mack. So I'm happy that Chris Bay won. I'm trying to think of anybody else that may be more deserving, besides maybe Desmond Xavier. That's about it that I can think. Because once again, now Impact has me thinking about how quickly Chris Bay just won the title, and did they reward him too soon? But it's the X Division Championship, so I mean it's definitely important. It's definitely a staple of Impact, but I don't think it's too soon for Chris Bay. I think Chris Bay is really good. I just wonder where they're going to push him, because the only thing that he's really been in is now this little thing with Johnny Swinger, and Johnny Swinger is hilarious, but he's not in the ring that much. So I kind of wonder if they're going to do anything with him in terms of a feud between those two, or what's next for Chris Bay, because I know he's going to go after Willie Mack. Rich Swann may come back into the fold too. They could put on some really good matches. So I mean, I'm pretty excited to see what they do with Chris Bay, because I really do like him. He's really good.
Yes, sorry about that. People just keep blowing up my phone right now. I had to mute my microphone there for a minute. But no, I thought this was a really good match, and I'm really happy they put the title on Chris Bay. I mean, I think he's been in Impact for about a year now or something like that. But people keep calling my phone right now. I'm about to block this mofo. God dang. Hold on. But no, I thought this was a really good match here. Chris Bay and really Mac, they work really good in the ring together. And I thought that Johnny Swinger was going to come out and probably cost Chris Bay the match, because he said that he was going to be in the corner. So I thought maybe he was going to come out and cost him the match. But no, this was a good match. I really enjoyed this match. Saw some pretty good high flying moves from Chris Bay during the match. Even I like that famouser he does. I think, does he call that the art of finesse or something like that, or maybe that's a different move? I can't remember, to be honest, but I know he ends up winning by the art of finesse. I know that's his finisher. But I thought this was a really good match, though. A really good match, and I'm happy they put the title on him. Let's see here. Oh yeah, let's talk about this segment now. So we saw Heath Slater, the guy who has kids. We saw him jump over the barricade. Now this was a pretty funny segment here. He basically says, he's basically the hottest free agent on the block, and he says, maybe he could slip into that. He sees that the Rascals are doing an open challenge. Yeah, I thought that was funny. And then he was like, or maybe he'll go be in the main event, because he goes like, I have my eyes on that world title here. But no, I thought this was really funny here. And then what's his name? Rahish? What's it? How do you say his name?
Yeah, Rohit Raju.
Rohit Raj, yeah, I am. He came out. He basically was like, "Hey," he basically called him, and he goes like, "Hey, man, this is different time zones here. He's trying to pull a Justin right here because this is different time zones here, man. We're not different time zones. The match already happened. This show's been going on. You can't be in a tag team match." And basically, Rohit, he said that he was, having his eyes on the world title match, and yeah, he said he was having his eyes on the world title match. And he was like, "You're not gonna come here and take my spot," because he was like, "I've basically been here longer than you have." And then we saw them kind of get into a little brawl, and Heath Slater basically, got on top of that. And I like how they debuted Heath Slater here. But I feel like this promo, when he was talking, I couldn't really hear him very well. Was that the same with you?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
talking.
Something was up with this promo. Rohit Raju. I have tried. Okay, I have tried to get behind this man, but every time he comes on my screen from now on,
He's kind of like a clown. Like he's Slater of Impact.
they they messed him up though. Because what they did was they debuted the Daisy Hit Squad or Daisy Hit Squad, which they never can say the same, and they didn't do anything. They just lost over and over again, and then got abused by Gama Singh. Why? Like they could have really made them into something and they didn't. I don't think I was really looking forward to it. And then they added, I think they added Shira in it, which is good because Shira is an absolute freaking stud. I love Shira, especially Serious Shira. Serious Shira is really good and really believable. But they added him into it, and I don't know what happened after that. But they doomed that group from the start. And now Rohit Raju is just having to deal with it because I think everybody else is gone from the group. So everybody else is gone, and I think Raju has to deal with it. And it's kind of hard to make him a serious competitor now because he's been such a joke for a while. So it takes it almost will take him, I guess, winning a title to do it possibly. And I don't know if I can stand him winning a title because he's just not good to me. He's not. I'm not impressed by him. I don't like watching him. Every time I see him, I'm like, can I skip over this? Luckily I'm on the DVR, so I can. I'm just not impressed by Rohit Raju at any moment, at any time, and I think it's a product of the Daisy Doozy Hit Squad that messed him up for me. And I tried to like him. I really did. I gave him a chance, but they weren't hitting up nobody. They weren't hitting nobody. Like they was just getting beat. Like what's the point?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And then also we had another segment seeing Heath Slater is backstage, and he meets up with his former tag team partner, in the other company, WWE. He meets up with Rhino.
Slater Gator, it's coming back, baby.
Slater Gator, yes, sir. And they were kind of having a chance to meet up, talk about some things. He said that he's the hottest free agent. But then we see Scott D'Amore come back there saying, "Hey, man, this is a close set. We're in a pandemic right now. It's like," and he was like, "You're, and you're just a free agent right now. You're nothing right now." And he asks Heath Slater to leave the arena. So I hope, I want them to see them, but I want to see TNA put the titles on Rhino and Heath Slater. I want to see that over here. But DJ, what's your thoughts on this here?
It was funny. I like how you brought up the pandemic. I thought that was funny. I want to see what they're going to do with Heath. In a way, I like that they're bringing him in differently than everybody else. Like everybody else just getting signed and just showing up. And once again, he has to work his way in. Like, oh, poor guy. So I wonder, how what they're gonna do, how they're gonna pull this off. Now I'm interested to see where he goes because he has never really been taken seriously ever. Even in WWE, I don't think that. Besides Well, I think I got kids with the joke. Only time he was taken seriously, I think when he tried to do the free agent thing. I think that was a serious, like he had like a more of a serious tone to him. And then of course in the Nexus, but I mean I kind of count that, but I don't count that because that was really before we knew Heath Slater as Heath Slater. So he was just the one man rock band or whatever the heck he was back then.
And of course, part of 3MB, you know, the 3MB,
Yeah, three and
which
B.
we saw a reunion on Raw that following that Monday night before. So
Yeah,
we saw that, which that was pretty cool. That was kind of like Heath Slater's last hurrah kind of thing, final farewell of WWE and whatnot. Um, but I hope they use Heath Slater a lot better here in TNA, which it kind of looks like they are going to. I mean, after seeing this segment, I kind of am a little hesitant about that, but I want to see them use Heath Slater really good here because he has potential. I mean, he can go in the ring. I mean, I've seen some matches by him. He can go in the ring. So I hope TNA actually gives him the opportunity over here. And a lot of these guys that came over here and returned. Um, but you got any more thoughts on this? Or
yeah. I think they'll use him better than they have. As long as they don't book him like Rocky Raju, I think they'll be okay.
yeah, anything's better than that. Exactly. Okay, but the next match we have here is the Impact World Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. We got the North defending the titles against Ken Shamrock and Sammy Callahan. Um, what's your thoughts on this match here?
Um, this is the one match I didn't watch. I did not care for. Even though I love Sammy Callahan, I've been looking for Sammy Callahan, and I mean, I'm sure it was a good match, but I just didn't. I just didn't feel like watching it. I felt like they dropped the ball on this because this was just random, put together at the last minute, and kind of dumb because the North have been feuding with the Deaners for like the past couple of weeks, and then for some reason they didn't put them on Slammiversary, which I don't understand. Not that I think the Deaners are viable. Uh, Not that I think the Deaners are viable tag team champions yet. I don't think they're there yet, but they're hilarious. They are hilarious. They are really funny, and I think they should, at least have a chance, especially since they've been feuding with the North. Um, and I feel like the Rascals, are the same way, but I think they're a couple of steps above the Deaners because they've been there a little longer. They're a little bit more taken seriously. They're really good. I just think they could have done anything. Like I would have rather have seen them in the random match, just like we're trying this tag team thing out or whatever. We don't get along, so we're just gonna try this tag team thing out, and then we might try for the titles, and then have the Machine Guns go after them or something like. They should have swapped spots with the Rascals. I think because I just don't. This just didn't. It didn't feel fitting of a pay per view. I guess in the same way that Tommy Dreamer and Moose didn't either. Although it was a good match, it didn't. It felt like there was other things that could have been done that could have been booked better than what it was.
Yeah. See, I thought this was a pretty good match for the most part. Which okay, so one gripe I have about this is how they paired Sam Callahan and Ken Shamrock as a tag team. Because I remember before this game, they were having their big feud, feuding out. Like, and then all of a sudden they become tag team partners. What? Doesn't make sense. I mean, we've seen that in other companies before. Like for example in WWE, we've seen Sheamus and Cesaro. They had their big rivalry a few years ago, and then all of a sudden they just become tag team partners. Like that just doesn't make sense to me.
Tag team champions on top of that.
Yeah, tag team champions on top of that. It's just random sometimes. Like what? Like there's no rhyme or reason why they pair them up as a tag team. I guess to have common, because they have common enemies. Want to get rid of the North. I guess that's the reason why. But during this match, I mean, we saw some tensions between Ken Shamrock and Sam Callahan because I mean, there was one point in the match where Stan McCallahan, he got shoved into Ken Shamrock, and Ken Shamrock thought he was like, "What are you doing?" Basically, So I thought, I could have seen him get in the fight during the match, and also Ken Shamrock kind of about costed Sam McCallahan, and then Sam McCallahan, they kind of went back and bickered, but then they finally worked it out during this match, but in the end, the North did end up retaining, and they're probably the longest reigning tag team champions been for a while, to be honest. Like, I think it's been over a year now. It's something like that. And basically, they after this match, they got on the microphone and they said, you guys were laughing at us saying that, that they couldn't basically hold the titles that long, and they're the ones laughing now. And they're saying they're the best and nobody else can beat them. But we had the Motor City Machine Guns come back out and saying, "Hey, yeah, you guys are good, over this past year, but you guys haven't faced us." And so they announced that next Tuesday, the Motor City Machine Guns and the North are going to be facing each other, and it's going to be for the Impact World Tag Team Championships. DJ, what's your thoughts on this here?
I'm excited about it. Once again, I just don't want them to rush to giving, the Good Brothers the tag titles too quickly. Not that I don't think they deserve it. Not that I don't think we waited long enough to see them as champions somewhere. But I think like one of the best parts of wrestling is being forced to wait on what we really want. Not too long, of course, but being Bound for Glory is coming up, so you can do it then. Don't. I personally would not give it away on a regular Impact show when you got Bound for Glory coming up and you've already scheduled Bound for Glory. Let that be their big moment. Let the North continue to snake their way through and sneak their way by and be those great heel champions, and then because too, you got to give your audience a chance to know who the Good Brothers are. And not everybody watches WWE. Not everybody watches New Japan. Not everybody watches Ring of Honor, AEW, etc., etc. Some people only watch Impact. And if I'm introduced to the Good Brothers, I might have heard of them, but I might not know how good they are. I might not know who what they bring to the table. So you have to introduce them to me before you just throw the titles on them, and I think that has to happen. I'm excited because it's going to be a good match, and it's the perfect way to showcase them too. Because if they're getting a title match right off the jump, then that means they're good. That shows me, okay, they're a pretty darn good tag team. They're getting a title match right off the jump. But at the same time, show me that they're workhorses and show me what they can do in the ring, and then they just barely lose to the North. That's the way you want to book it, I think.
Yeah, but I do feel like the North are going to retain against the Motor City Machine Guns here. So I think it's going to be good, though. I think it's going to be really good to see. Wait, were you saying the Good Brothers?
I was. Sorry, I got sidetracked.
Yeah,
the Machine Guns shouldn't win either.
Yeah.
Let the North sneak like the North needs to continue to like prove themselves, and like you beat all the Impact finalists. Now you got to beat the Machine Guns, and I think they need to put the Good Brothers in a tag team match with them too, or whatever, or however they want to do it. I mean, it's the same narrative. It's the same narrative. I might be an Impact fan, but I may haven't seen the Machine Guns in a while, or maybe never seen them before. Just know they're Impact legends. So you still got to reintroduce your audience to them again, I think.
True. Then so we had another segment, and we thought it was going to be with the Good Brothers. I can't remember what's the interviewer name. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But we had her outside the ring. I mean, outside of the locker room. Think it was going to be the Good Brothers, but no, it was Rich Swann of all people. He has crutches. He goes like, "Hey, I'm just waiting to be cleared up. Waiting to be cleared up by the doctors to see, hey, that I'm good to go." So what's your thoughts on this here?
I think this probably gave away that he was going to be in the match later because why would you want to get credit if you're not going to be in the match?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice this segment. I thought you were going to mention I don't know if the Johnny Bravo segment is after this or before this, which was another funny segment that he did with the same girl. He arrived and she thought it was the Good Brothers and it was Johnny Bravo.
Oh yeah.
He was like, well, he was like, what's going on, Daddy? He just parked the car for me. I was dead. Johnny Bravo is freaking hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty funny there.
Yeah, he is freaking hilarious. I don't know what he's gonna do, but I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I think they just have him for kind of relief, but he's freaking funny. Like that dude cracks me up every time I see him.
He kind of reminds me of Robert Stone a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or AKA Robbie E, from TNA. But no, I mean, he's basically just a comedy gimmick in my opinion. But no, I thought that was funny. Both times they thought it was gonna be the Good Brothers, but it wasn't. It wasn't the Good Brothers at all for both segments. But I mean that's all about that. But the next match we have here is for the Impact Knockouts Championship. We have Jordan Grace defending that title against Deonna Purrazzo. And overall, I know that, we'll let DJ talk about, how he doesn't really like Jordan Grace that much. Which, I mean, I don't find any problem with her that much. But I thought this was a really fun match. I mean, really mat-based wrestling towards the beginning of the match. Deonna Purrazzo was just working on Jordan Grace's arm during the whole match, which I like that. How she was selling that her arm was injured during the whole match. So that was good. And Jordan Grace, she was hitting some pretty big moves. But every time you thought that Jordan Grace was going to get going, Deonna Purrazzo would just, go back to attacking that arm, go back to doing something. So, but this was back and forth. Both girls worked really good in the ring together. But I was just surprised how they put the title that quick onto Deonna Purrazzo because in my predictions, I said that Jordan Grace was going to retain the title because I was pretty sure that Deonna Purrazzo wasn't fully signed with Impact yet, but maybe she did sign a deal with them. I don't know. I haven't read any backstage, sheets and stuff. But I thought this was a really good match, and like we've been saying during the video, I feel like sometimes TNA rushes to put the title on somebody right when they come in. Like for example, Brian Cage, or for example, Tessa Blanchard. So hopefully, I don't want them to just shove Deonna Purrazzo down our throats, to make where we don't like her. But I don't know. I feel like they should have waited to give the title to her. I mean, this is a big pay-per-view to do it here, but maybe they could have maybe gave it to her at Bound for Glory, build her character up a little more. Because how long has she been in TNA? She hasn't been there that long, maybe for a few weeks or something, maybe 4 or 5 weeks or so. So I was just really surprised how they gave it to her that quick. And in my opinion, I kind of think that Slammiversary is a bigger pay-per-view than Bound for Glory, but that's for a discussion for another day. But DJ, what's your thoughts on this match here?
Huh. Talk about how you put a move over, having Jordan Grace tap out to lose her title in the first in Deonna Purrazzo's second freaking match. On one hand, I like Jordan Grace in the ring. I don't like Jordan Grace on the microphone. She doesn't seem believable to me. And as much as I didn't want her, as much as I'm like, oh, she needs this title, I do think it's too early for Deonna Purrazzo to win it. Because once again, Deonna Purrazzo just showed up. But I think the situation is a hair different because it shows that she's a big deal, right? Sometimes you can do this. and it shows that you are a big deal if you come in and Jordan Grace is this dominant, you know, female competitor, and you come in and you make her tap on basically your second match, your first ever pay per view match, like between the two companies you've been in ever, and your second overall match in Impact to make her tap, that's pretty high praise for how good you are. Um, so, I mean, I think that's pretty good, and I don't think Deanna Prazo is better than Tessa Blanchard. To be honest, in terms of Deanna Prazo is good, but Tessa Blanchard is the you know the whole package. I feel like I think she checks all the boxes in terms of being a wrestler and on the mic and all that. Deanna Prazo is good. I'm still learning about Deanna Prazo because I mean I haven't gotten a lot of good experience from Deanna Prazo because she's never been pushed the way she's being pushed now. She's always been like, well, she's good, she's got the family lineage, but she's not championship material yet, So like it's been almost like slowly, like we know she's good, but we haven't really it hasn't been presented to us well. I don't think, and hopefully we'll be able to see what she's really made of now.
Yeah, and a lot, on commentary, Josh Matthews and Don Callis were talk about a lot during the show, like how a lot of these people were, a lot of these wrestlers, especially Deanna Purrazzo, coming from WWE, coming from the other brand, saying the other company, she was shackled in them chains for a little while, and now she's finally coming over here, finally getting her opportunity. Because we did see her in NXT for a little bit. We even saw her on Raw a few times, which I was out of Monday Night Raw, which Deanna Purrazzo was at, which the match I saw her, I think it was like against Oscar or someone like that. I really can't remember. But I'm happy that Deanna Purrazzo is actually getting her opportunity over here more. So, I mean, at the same time, I think it was a little too early to give her a title. Maybe it was a little too early, but overall, it was a good match. I mean, both competitors worked really good. Next match we have is the main event. So, and it's for the World Heavyweight Championship. We have Ace Austin with Man Fulton versus Eddie Edwards versus Trey, and versus a mystery opponent. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. So we're waiting to see who it is, and I think it's going to be EC3. I think everybody was thinking it was going to be EC3, but no, Rich Swann comes out of all people. I'm like, yeah, he comes out with his crutches, he throws some crutches down, he starts dancing around. He goes like, his leg is all fine. His leg's all fine. And then we figured out that's going to be a 5-way match now. So the 5th competitor in the match is a returning wrestler, Eric Young. Which, on my predictions, I thought that Eric Young was going to get involved with that tag team match to help the North retain. Because, Team Canada, they have that little thing going. They could have had that thing going on there, could have made that faction again. But no, they brought Eric Young out of all people, which I'm happy. But I just thought it was going to be EC3 during this, and it was an elimination style, so I like that there. But DJ, thoughts on this match here?
This match was incredible in terms of Rich Swann. I was a little indifferent about it, but they did start a feud with him and EY out of this, so that was good. So that gives him something to do. That gives EY something to do. And two really good workers, that gives them a chance to work with each other, which I think is a good thing. Because at first, I didn't understand why, like I said earlier, why put him in when you could put Moose in and, continue to build that storyline. Because, I mean, technically, you could have EY attack Rich Swann backstage while he's getting checked out or something. Oh, you're cleared, and then EY did the same thing. But I think too, if you're saying it's a former world champion, you gotta have somebody, and I think EY was a good person for that because and we talked about this before we started as well. If you put EC3 in the match, then that's the peak, right? That's the peak of the show. He's got to win. Eddie always wins this match, and EC3's in it. You're sick to your stomach. So if you put EC3 in this match, then that's the peak of the show. By putting EY in this match, it makes you say, well, I know EC3 is coming back. Like, and I don't think it was ever confirmed that EC3 was coming back. I just think everybody was like 102% sure that he was coming back. So everybody's like, well, what about EC3? What is EC3 going to interfere in this match? What's going to go on? And even after this match, you're sitting there thinking, did I miss EC3? Did I go to the bathroom too quick? Did I turn the show off too quick? Like, what happened? No, they missed something. So, and we'll get into that here in a second. But in terms of this match, it was really good. I wasn't surprised that Ace Austin or Trey didn't win because I knew they were going to break off. That they were going to take each other out. As you saw, Eric Young and Rich Swann going after each other. It kind of made it like, okay, Eddie Edwards is going to win this match. Another match that I already knew who was going to win before I got a chance to watch it, which I'm actually upset about because I wouldn't have thought Eddie Edwards would have won. It would have been an interesting battle between Ace Austin and Eddie Edwards at the very, very end for me if I wouldn't have known who won the match before I started watching it. But, I mean, I'm glad Eddie Edwards won because I think, and I don't know how I feel about Eddie Edwards' singles character right now, but when Eddie Edwards first won the title, he didn't have much of a character back then. It was just like the underdog, the underdog tag team wrestler. Can he prove himself? That was his gimmick. And now he has this like wild and almost deranged gimmick. It's not EY deranged, but it's deranged in a way type gimmick. But he's a face too, so it's not as deranged as it used to be. So I want to see what he does with the title now with this new gimmick because we haven't seen him win the title. Has Eddie Edwards won a title since he switched over to this gimmick? I don't think he has. I think
maybe I don't think he's won. Has he won the X division? I don't remember.
I don't think so. I think he's competed. He's competed for the title, and I wonder what they're gonna do. Like because I think sometimes with heels, sometimes it's a little bit easier because you got this was my obsession. You got this is my baby. I'll never lose it. But then with faces, especially with this character, it's kind of going to be interesting what they do with it. What they do with him as a character, and this is more into his character development. I'm kind of at first I was like, why in the world did he win? Right now, this is me thinking EY was in the match, or it was either me knowing EY was in the match or thinking EC3 was in the match. So at first I was like, why in the heck did he win? But in hindsight, I think now I'm very happy that he won. I think I think out of all of these guys, we talked about it in the predictions. Out of all of these guys, to me, it felt like it was either going to be Eddie Edwards or it was going to be the mystery guy, right? That's what I felt like. I was going to be surprised if it was Eddie Edwards because, I mean, it's Eddie Edwards, and I guess that once again, that's why it's a good thing that he won because you still look at Eddie Edwards and you're like, I mean, it's Eddie Edwards. Like he's good. He's a freaking beast competitor, but you're still like, but it's Eddie Edwards though, So hopefully he proves a lot to me in this title run. I'm happy that he won it, but I also and I think his first title run was good. As like the workhorse champion, but I want to see what this title run is going to be about. It actually piques my interest a lot. I wasn't as much as they were promoting Ace Austin as being the youngest, because a lot of times when they promote you as being like the youngest, he's going to be the youngest world champion. That's what happens. But I don't know. I don't know if Ace Austin's ready. I really don't. Ace Austin's good. He's very good, and I think his promos are really good. But I don't know if he's ready. Trey is an absolute freaking stud. His promos are, I mean, he's probably got one of the best talking styles out of this entire group, except for Eric Young, I think, as well. So Trey on the microphone is absolutely ridiculous. So him versus Ace Austin is going to break off and be a really good feud. I really think that's going to be a really awesome feud. And then of course Rich Swann and Eric Young that also kind of broke off into their own little feud as well. I think it's going to be good because now and for the first time, and it's a really good thing. We didn't get to see a lot of Eric Young as serious EY, and not only serious EY, but like an EY that we can take seriously, right? The EY that like is a world champion, the EY that deserves to be X Division champion, the EY that deserves to be, uh, you know, looked at as this really good workhorse wrestler, and not just oh he's really talented or oh he's a Daniel Bryan lookalike. This is the EY we want to see. So I like. I'm excited to see EY and Rich Swann go at it because I really felt like EY got the short end of the stick by having to be the Daniel Bryan lookalike by a lot of the pundits and a lot of the critics of Impact when he first won the title. Even though he's a really good wrestler and he's shown that he's really good at developing his character too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But I really enjoyed this match overall. There was a really cool spot during the match. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Eddie Edwards, and I think it was Eddie Edwards and Ace Austin or something. But they were fighting on the top rope, and they get pushed off into a table. I like that table spot that happened during the match. I can't remember who got eliminated first. Who was the first elimination? Was
it Trey?
I think it was Trey. Yeah, it was Trey. I think it was by. It was a fault. It was.
I thought it was EY.
No, EY was no. It was Trey.
Okay.
Trey was the first. Yeah, Trey was the first elimination by. I'm pretty sure it was by Ace Austin. He had his cart something, the fold or something. Yeah, the fold. So he eliminated him by that. And then I'm pretty sure, okay, it was Eric Young who got eliminated next, which I'm not exactly how that one happened. Like some of these eliminations I'm kind of fuzzy with, but Eric Young was definitely that one. And then it was, and then, okay, yeah. Then Rich Swann got eliminated, and then it came down to Ace Austin and Eddie Edwards as the final two competitors, which they went at it pretty good. Which I'm happy that Bad Man Fulton, the referee kicked him out early on the match, so kind of make this a clean match a little bit. So that was a good thing. But I thought that this was a. I like that they put the title on Eddie Edwards, but I feel like they should have gave it to Ace Austin. And before, I was talking to DJ about this before the show even happened. I said, maybe he could be the leader of the Aces and Eights whenever, however they're going to bring back the Aces and Eights. Maybe he could be a leader because, Ace Austin, Aces and Eights, guards and stuff.
I think too. I think he's a good potential candidate for it. Plus, he's got Madman Fulton with him, which would add to it. Callahan's a good one too. I think Callahan could be it. He would be like sadistic enough to do it. Would be Callahan or like they could have. I don't know. I guess they're gonna have to technically have a leader or a mouthpiece, but like it could almost be like Ace Austin and Callahan were working together because they both have similar mindsets about kind of getting ahead. So I think it could work. I just don't know who the heck you'd have to be the mouthpiece because Callahan could be, but Austin could work very well, too. And I'm kind of confused. I don't know how they're going to bring back the Aces and Eights without
Bully Ray,
the original members.
Yeah, Bully Ray or like D'Lo Brown. Because I saw something.
Well, and of course you got you could have the Good Brothers in there too. Because of course Doc
Gallows, which when the Good Brothers came out tonight, which we'll get that in a minute. Josh Matthews said, "Oh, Luke Gallows is here," which I'm pretty sure that's trademarked with WWE. So
Did he say
maybe
Luke Gallows? I thought he said Doc Gallows.
no, he said Luke Gallows.
Huh.
So maybe that was a mistake by Josh Matthews or something, or maybe WWE was like, we don't care if you say his name, but it's trademarked by WWE, so I don't know. But you can call him, Big Doc,
What's he call him?
LG.
Festus.
Oh man, no, not even. Uh, but yeah, Eddie Edwards did end up getting the victory by when he hit the Die Hard onto Ace Austin to get the 1, 2, 3. So like I said, I thought this was a good match. Each competitor got all their moves, pretty good moves in during the match. Not just one person was just too dominant. So I like that, and I like how it was elimination style. Like I want to see more elimination style matches because I think that leads some intrigue to it. Because when Eric Young got eliminated, I go like, wow. I was pretty sure that the person coming into the match, the former world champion, was going to win the match. I go like, wow, okay, guys. So we're going to have a new world champion here. Well, of course, I mean, we were going to have a new world champion anyway. But yeah, Eddie Edwards did end up getting the victory and becoming the new Impact World Heavyweight Champion. And then after the match, we had Madman Fulton. He came back out to come attack Eddie Edwards, and Eddie Edwards and Ace Austin. I mean, not Eddie Edwards. Madman Fulton and Ace Austin, they attacked Eddie Edwards. And then we heard the Good Brothers music hit, and they came out to help out Eddie Edwards, and they hit it was not Gallows. It was Anderson. No. He hit the gun stun onto Madman Fulton, and then they hit the Magic Killer, and that basically got rid of the Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. So, and then after that, they kind of just celebrated with some beer, kind of celebrating the big world title win at this, at a big pay-per-view here, and that took the show off the air. But what's your thoughts on this here at the end?
Yeah, that was a cool way to end it. With the Good Brothers and Eddie Edwards being out there, that was a really cool way to end it. I was still sitting there thinking, where's EC3? Did I miss it? Like I'm like, do I need to like rewatch it or something? Did I miss something? Like
did I miss the pre-show?
I'm like, what? Like I'm like, I know he's coming back. Like I know it. Like what's going on? I need to know what Impact. What are you doing? Come on now. I know he's missing.
Yeah. But I thought that was a really good way, to kind of see them all celebrating together, big title win. But then when you think the show is over, we see, three numbers. And then you see EC3. And he has a glass in his hand, and he smashes it against the wall. And that's how the show goes off the air. That's how it ends. So, we didn't hear EC3 get on the mic. We didn't see him actually physically in the arena. So, who knows what they're going to be doing with EC3. But I don't know. Are they going to have him come in as a heel? I hope they do, because he could be a strong, strong heel. I mean, I just love EC3 as a heel.
I think they're going to have him come in as a face because everybody's just going to be excited to the no crowd is just going to be excited to see him. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to have him come in as a face. They'll probably eventually have him come in as a heel because I think people will get tired of him as a face because he's just so good as a heel. But this was the point in the show where I was like, yep, I'm hooked. Can't wait for Tuesday. Gotta watch it. So yeah, they got me with this, and it wasn't even anything crazy. Like it was just, yep, EC3's back. Gotta watch. Because I mean, EC3 is a freaking star, man.
Yeah, he is. It's unfortunate how he got used in WWE. I mean, a lot of these guys, who came over here, it's unfortunate how the club or the Good Brothers, they got used in WWE. Eric Young, all these guys. Heath Slater.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I think he might end up turning heel probably soon. I think they will bring him back as a face just to kind of bring him back in. You know, because he left. Did he leave as a face? I think he left as a face.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
think. So he'll probably come back as a face just because I think people are just excited to see him and glad to have him back. So but then again, he kind of looks kind of pissed off and uh, you know overlooked in some in some ways too. And I don't know. I definitely think I'm excited for whatever his first promo is going to be, because I definitely feel like he's going to take some sort of shot at WWE, which I hope he does. Simply because it's like you overlooked me again, really. I've proven myself. I came here to prove myself originally. I proved myself, and now I'm back again because for some reason WWE can't see the forest through the trees or whatever. Like it's just like I think he's got to have one of those promos, and I know like people are weird and sometimes don't like those promos, but I mean that's the realism that I think that's what we want them to say. But then when they say it, we're like, oh no, you can't just build your company on calling out WWE, but like I mean that's what you do, you
I
know.
mean, you need to break kayfabe a little bit. You know what I mean? You need to break that to show some realism with that. To kind of go like, hey, man, I'm pissed off that, I wasn't getting all these opportunities, because he is a big star. But yeah, that was Slammiversary 2020. Overall, I thought it was a really, really good show. Um, I like all the returns we had. I mean, I'm excited to see what happens this Tuesday, tomorrow night on Impact. So it's gonna be really exciting to see what happens. But really, it was a fun show. You have any final thoughts, DJ?
Like you said, I think I'm just excited to see what's going to happen on Tuesday, which is nice to say because I don't have to wait all the way to Thursday. So I haven't been this interested in Impact in a while, and it just goes to show you how big star power can be. Because even when I look at this card, there's some good matches on paper. With this card, there's some freaking take out all the returns. I mean, the Rascals are ridiculously talented. Moose is ridiculously talented. Tommy Dreamer is a legend, of course. Callie Ray's really good. Their entire women's division is really good. Chris Bay's really good. Willie Mack's really good. The North are really good champions. I mean, Ken Shamrock's a freaking legend. Sammy Callahan's a freaking beast. Deanna Purrazzo is ridiculous. Jordan Grace is ridiculous. All four of those men that were originally in the that were in Impact already are all talented people. But it was like for some reason they were missing. Impact was missing something to draw everybody else back in. As talented as Ace Austin is and Eddie Edwards is and Trey is and even Rick Swan, something was missing. So I'm excited to see if this was the antidote. And I guess that's what's hard, about wrestling because on one hand, you want to promote these new guys, you want to show everybody that these new guys are just as talented as the old guys, but sometimes the new guys just don't resonate as quickly and not even as quickly. They just don't resonate soon enough, for people to keep their investment. And you always got to have somebody at the top that is willing to keep me tuned in, and I think that's what Impact has back now. They have those guys who are bona fide stars, but then you got some of the guys that are underneath them, and some of them who are just a hair underneath them. That I'm excited. I'm just excited to watch now too.
Most definitely, most definitely. Yeah, because I feel like TNA they really needed that star power, and I feel like they got some of that here. They got some of that back, and they got some of those veteran guys in the locker room to help lead those up and coming stars. That don't really who are kind of new into professional wrestling, and those veteran guys can lead those younger guys. Lead them in the right direction. So if they have that in the locker room, that really helps out a whole lot. But You wanna, tell where everybody can find you out on social media and link, plug all your stuff
Yeah, of
for
course.
those people who know
Yeah, of course, you can find us on Twitter, ICW_podcast. We respond to tweets every once in a while. Also, of course, on Facebook, that's where we do most of our live streams now. Facebook.com/ICW podcast. Also, we will post on YouTube too. It's Classic Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. We'll go back and post after the fact as well. We're on Spotify, Anchor, what else? Apple Podcast. I'm trying to think of the big ones as well. If you just want to listen, so we're Googleable, as I like to say. So
you. Yes, sir. Yeah, so all those links will be down in the description below. And you guys know where to find me, at the True JSB. And you can go, follow me on Instagram at the True JSB also. So all my links will be down in the description as well. Um, but yeah, that was our Slammiversary 2020 review. And this is your boy Juggernaut saying peace out. And I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.